My sister mocked me for marrying a lowly farmer, while her husband was a finance genius. When their investments collapsed, my parents demanded I sell my land to bail them out. Their faces turned ghostly white when my husband explained who the actual landowner was. Pratt 4. I looked at Elijah, who was glaring at me like this was somehow my fault. I'm sorry to hear that, I said carefully. But I'm not sure why you're telling us. Because we need your help, Tamara said, leaning forward. For the first time in my life, my sister was looking at me with something that might have been desperation. Your land, my father said bluntly. The farm, we need you to sell it. The words hit me like a slap. Excuse me. It's the only asset in the family that's not tied up in the mess, my mother explained, her voice pleading. If you sell the farm, we can pay off the debts and start over. I felt Peyton's hand find mine, his grip steady and warm. You want us to sell our home? I said slowly. To fix your mistakes. It's not about mistakes, Elijah said, his voice rising. It's about family, about doing what's right. What's right? What? The words came out sharper than I intended. What's right is asking your family to sacrifice everything they've worked for. You've worked for. You. Tamara stood up, her composure finally cracking completely. Bethany, you're playing house on a patch of dirt. This is real life, real consequences. Real consequences for choices you made. We're family. My mother cried, tears streaming down her face. Family helps family. Where was this family loyalty when you spent years mocking everything we built? I stood up too, my hand shaking. Where was it when you treated Peyton like dirt under your shoes? That's not fair, my father said, but his voice lacked conviction. Isn't it? You want to talk about fair? Let's talk about every family gathering where you made us feel like charity cases, every comment about our simple little life, every time you acted like we were embarrassing you just by existing. Bethany, Aaron started, but I was on a roll now. And now, when your golden boy schemes fall apart, suddenly you remember we exist. Suddenly we're family. This isn't about the past, Tamara said, her voice desperate. This is about now, about survival. Your survival, built on our sacrifice. It's just land, Elijah exploded. It's dirt and weeds and nothing. You could buy another farm anywhere. The silence that followed was deafening. Even he seemed to realize he'd gone too far. Peyton stood up slowly, his movements deliberate and controlled. I think, he said quietly, we should go. Wait, my mother pleaded. Please, just think about it. We're not asking you to decide right now. Actually, my father said, his voice hard, we are. The creditors won't wait much longer. We need an answer by Monday. Monday. I stared at him. You're giving us 2 days to decide whether to destroy our lives for you. You're being dramatic, Tamara said, but her voice was shaking. It's just property. We're talking about people's lives here, my daughter's future. What about our future? You don't have children. She shot back. You don't understand what's at stake. You. The words hit like a physical blow. The unspoken implication that our childless marriage somehow made our lives worth less hung in the air between us. Peyton's jaw tightened. And I saw his hands clench into fists. We're leaving, I said, grabbing my purse. Bethany, please. My mother called as we headed for the door. Just think about it. Please. I turned back one last time, looking at these people who shared my blood, but felt like strangers. I'll think about it, I said. But, you should think about something too. You should think about what kind of people ask their family to lose everything to save them from their own mistakes. As we walked to the truck, my father's voice followed us out. You'll come to your senses once you realize what you owe us, Bethany. What we've done for you over the years. Peyton's hand was on the truck door, but he paused, his knuckles white against the metal. What we owe them, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. After 30 years of being treated like the family disappointment, what exactly do we owe them? No one had an answer for that. At least, not one they were willing to say out loud. The drive home was silent except for the sound of gravel crunching under our tires. Peyton's knuckles were still white on the steering wheel, and I could practically feel the anger radiating off him in waves. We pulled into our driveway, and I stared at our modest farmhouse. The place my family wanted us to sacrifice like it meant nothing. The evening light made the fields look golden, peaceful. Everything I'd ever wanted was right here. I need to show you something, Peyton said as we got out of the truck. Peyton, I'm not selling. I don't care what they... I know you're not selling. That's not what this is about. He headed toward the barn, his stride purposeful. There are things I should have told you years ago. I followed him, confused. What things? Instead of answering, he led me to the back of the barn where he kept his office. I'd been in there 1,000 times, but he went straight to a filing cabinet I'd never seen him open. Sit down, he said, pulling out a thick manila folder. Peyton, you're scaring me. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to show you who we really are. He opened the folder and spread papers across his desk. What we really are. I leaned forward, squinting at the document's legal papers, patents, financial statements with numbers that made my head spin. What is all this? This, he said, pointing to a patent document. As the irrigation system we use on the North Field. The one I cobbled together from spare parts. I read the header. Patent granted to Peyton Stone for Advanced Precision Agriculture Irrigation System. You patented it. 3 years ago. It's being used on farms across the Midwest now. He pulled out another document. This is the soil analysis software I've been working on. The program that helps us know exactly when and where to plant. Another patent. Another document with Peyton's name at the top. I don't understand. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted to be sure. I wanted to build something real before I started talking about it.